Hey guys, I'm doing this video just to vent a little bit. Just a little something I wanted to talk about. Nothing really major. Well, maybe like two things. Okay, first things first. Once a month, I go to the to a psychic fair here. Well, not here in Fort Lauderdale, and it's awesome. I love it. Love the people there. It's at a metaphysical church. Awesome vibe. I mean, awesome people. Love them to death. I get along with all the psychics. There's no cattiness between us. It's all good. It's all good. I mean, really good. Right? And was it yeah, it was this Saturday that I went to, to the fair, to the psychic fair. And I was one of the psychics, obviously. Um, and everything was great. The first client that I had, I was like spot on. She knew exactly what I was talking about. She was like, "Yes, I see it. Definitely, I understand what you're telling me. I Everything relates, everything connects." So I was like, "Oh, cool. Today I'm good. I'm good." And then after she was done, I got somebody else like literally right after her, which is perfectly fine. I'm accustomed to it. Um, and when the person sat down, I mean, I didn't feel anything different. There wasn't like any sort of like ooh or anything. It was just like a normal person. No real big difference. And I knew that they were friends. I knew that they were acquaintances. She took my card and she said that she had a little pad and she wanted to jot things down. I was like, sure, perfect. She took my card and started saying that the reason that her and her friends were here were that they were going to try out all the psychics and find out which one they liked. And if that one did parties, that they were going to, do like little parties every once in a while, like psychic parties. And I was like, oh, cool. And I do that on my website. That's one of the services that I have. So I was like, oh, that's perfect. Oh, great. Awesome. So I'm already like jazzed there. Everything's good. Um, and I guess when she sat down and told me all this, she didn't notice that I guess she noticed because she looked at my bio because right before you pick what psychic you want to, you can, um, look through a little booklet where it has like a mini bios of all the psychics that are there. So and I noticed that they were like, "You're Maria!" and like they screamed at me like across the church, literally. And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, that's me." So I thought, "Oh wow!" So it's like I think all of them are coming to me, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's awesome!" So yeah, like I said, I was jazzed. So she comes, she tells me that I had already read her friend. That was good. And I'm thinking, this is gonna be cake. We're gonna be good. It's like it's all flowing great. And I go to her, would you like tarot? Which I always say this to every customer when I have them sitting down in front of me. Would you like tarot or runes? Only because the rune and the tarot are basically like what primarily the cards that I'm going to use. I might, if I'm doing runes, I might take out a tarot to add a little extra oomph or clarity, depending, or vice versa. And when I said that, she goes, "Oh, you read tarot, you just read cards, so you're not psychic." Now, she said it more as a statement or a fact than a question. So right there was just like, oh God, not one of these. Which are people who believe that if you read the cards, you're not psychic. You just read the cards, you read the meanings, and you connect the cards to the meanings. In other words, like if you have the lovers and you have the Knight of Pentacles, oh, you're gonna meet this guy who's like very stable and you're gonna fall in love with him, you know? Which, yeah, that's the first thing that comes to mind. But the thing that you don't understand, people don't understand is that it's a blend of things. It's a blend of you're scrying, you're literally scrying because there are times when I look at a card and I'll do a complete reverse on what the card means, only because it doesn't feel right or it feels different, or I just concentrate on one particular part of what that card means. So it's not like, oh, like I could say that, oh, like a King of Pentacles. Oh yeah, it's somebody who's very and I just say like the things that I remember about the King of Pentacles. But the one thing that I mention constantly is what comes to mind strongly, which is that's the intuition part, the psychic part that comes to you. That's the thing, is that most people, excuse me, that think that the people who read cards, that's all they do. They don't think that we actually use our intuition and our psychic abilities, whatever they may be. And she just completely, excuse my French, but fucked me up. Not for the whole day, but just for her reading alone. I think I was so, I think my problem was that I was so, one, she was closed off, because the minute she saw that, I could feel her just going boop, and just like, no, that's okay. You're not a real psychic. You're not, please. She had that sort of attitude. So right there, I was just like, ooh, I just want to like I got angry, but I didn't show it, obviously. I'm just like, oh. And I could not help myself but want to try to break through her to be able to read her. And I did it, like, I think I read her like 6 or 7 times, like, again. And then she's like, no, I don't see a connection at all. I'm just letting you know. So it's over and over and over and over. And I'm just like, oh my God, I just want to like really like. And that's what I was doing that was wrong. Because when you have somebody that you can't read, that doesn't want you to read them, no matter how hard you try. And it just irked me so much. And it drained me too, because I was trying so hard. But it also drained me emotionally. It wasn't just like an energy drain. It was more of it was also an emotional drain, because you feel sort of like, like the little thing, that little voice in your head, especially if you have a lot of people in your life, which I don't, but I have a lot of people. I don't have a lot of people that tell me this. I do have one particular person that tells me this constantly, and that is that this is bullshit, and constantly puts me down for what I do. But then again, she's been doing that all my life. You can guess who it is. If you know me, you know exactly who I'm talking about. So yeah, it was very draining. It was very emotionally like, and the good thing was that right after her, I didn't have anyone for at least one session, which each session is 20 minutes. So for 20 minutes, I didn't have anybody, and I just got on my phone and just started, and I went on some friends of mine on oh my God, on Facebook, um, that that are really close to me, and I really appreciate their support, and they're also psychic as well, and they have psychic businesses as well as same as mine, and they were great. They were like, no, don't worry about it. It happens, and blah, blah, blah. But also this lady, let me say one thing. This lady complained about me, and they gave her a free reading for it. Obviously, they didn't say like, oh, Maria, you can't come back because you weren't able to read this person. Because they understand, if she's closed off for whatever reason, whether it's because she just closed off or because she didn't like me for some reason, which you already know because I already told you why she didn't like me. They understood that, and they didn't say anything to me, and they still expect me back the next week and whatnot. So yeah, no, but that just really irked me, like, to a level that just ooh. And when I got home, I had read after her. I read like maybe 5 or 6 people, and it was automatic reversal. The next person after her, it was like spot on. Next, spot on. The next person, spot on, and so forth and so forth and so forth. And I felt great at that point. I would felt great that I was like, okay, fine. Like it was her, not me. But at the same time, I was like so intent on, I'm good at this. I know what I'm doing, and I'm like, okay. And I kept getting reassured. Kept getting readings that were good. So I was like, okay, so I'm good. I'm good. Everything's fine. Oh yeah, cut myself. And there's another story. Well, I didn't cut myself. That's a mosquito bite. Don't move to Florida. Mosquitoes everywhere, especially if it's wet, which is constant. So a lot of mosquitoes everywhere. Anyways, so yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. Kind of, sort of, yeah. That was just my story. I just wanted to vent because it was just something that I think needs to be said. Like just because you read, somebody reads tarot does not mean that they're not psychic. It just means that they use tools to interpret their psychic abilities. That's it. It just gives it it's sort of like the decoder ring to the puzzle or something. That's the best way I can put it. And it basically puts the pieces together that some of us aren't, we're not made to be able to understand it that way. It's more, some of us are more visual in that sense. And that's why we need cards. That's the only difference. So yeah, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Other than that, guys, thank you for listening to me. I know I was venting and ranting, but yeah, that's my story. Bye.